Japan's Mitsubishi F-2 has entered a new chapter in its operational life, one defined not by decline or obsolescence, but by strategic adaptation. At a time when Japan is accelerating its acquisition of fifth-generation aircraft and investing heavily in the global combat air program, the F-2 is being reshaped into a specialized asset that aligns closely with Japan's most pressing security needs. Instead of fading quietly as a legacy platform, it has found renewed purpose as a critical anti-ship strike asset, anchoring Japan's layered defense of its surrounding maritime domain. For a nation whose security depends on sea lanes, contested airspace, and the defense of a vast archipelago, this shift is not only logical, but necessary. The F-2's historical role is central to understanding why it continues to matter. Developed jointly by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and Lockheed Martin, the aircraft was conceived from the outset as a maritime strike platform optimized for Japan's geographical realities. It is larger than its F-16 lineage suggests, with increased wing area, extensive composite materials, and the world's first operational fighter-mounted active electronically scanned array radar. These attributes made it a natural guardian of Japan's maritime approaches, and that foundational design logic remains valid even today. More than 90 airframes continue to serve with the Japan Air Self-Defense Force, primarily in Misawa and Tsuiki, and remain structurally sound, fully serviceable, and operationally relevant. The most transformative development shaping the F-2's future is the integration of the ASM-3A, Japan's new supersonic anti-ship missile. The ASM-3A promises a step change in engagement range, potentially reaching 400 to 500 kilometers depending on configuration. Traveling at speeds exceeding Mach 3, it compresses an adversary's response time while enabling Japan to conduct standoff maritime strikes from outside an opponent's air defense envelope. When paired with the F-2's active electronically scanned array radar, the platform becomes a powerful, long-range maritime strike system. It can identify, track, and prosecute high-value naval targets before they approach critical sea lanes or territorial waters. From the perspective of Japanese defense planners, this capability is not escalatory. It is a pure deterrence asset aligned fully with Japan's defensive doctrine. This transformation explains why the F-2 remains indispensable even as Japan deploys more F-35A and F-35B aircraft. The F-35 brings unmatched stealth, advanced sensors, and deep integration with allied networks. But it is not optimized to carry large anti-ship missiles externally, without compromising its low observable characteristics. Japan is indeed purchasing F-35s in significant numbers, but these aircraft cannot immediately replace the specialized maritime strike role that the F-2 performs so efficiently. Moreover, Japan's geography demands a layered aviation posture. The F-35 excels in air dominance, early-stage suppression, and intelligence collection. The F-2, with ample payload capacity and high-speed missile integration, provides the striking arm that can exploit the targeting data the F-35 collects. The future global combat air program will eventually redefine this structure, but its entry into service is projected for the middle of the next decade. Japan cannot afford a capability gap in the meantime. This layered approach aligns with the strategic environment surrounding Japan. The Nansei island chain stretching from Kyushu to Yonaguni is marked by proximity to foreign military activity and is central to Japan's defense planning. The region's geography creates natural choke points, making maritime domain control one of Japan's highest priorities. In this environment, a fast-reacting anti-ship strike fighter equipped with long-range missiles is not a luxury, but an essential component of deterrence. The F-2's ability to operate from established Japan Air Self-Defense Force bases and rapidly respond to incursions gives it a unique role in protecting these islands. Even as unmanned systems grow in importance, Japan cannot rely solely on unproven systems to defend such a contested region. Public opinion in Japan has played a subtle but significant role in shaping this trajectory. The F-2 carries cultural meaning beyond its military function. It stands as one of Japan's most sophisticated indigenously manufactured defense systems, representing decades of accumulated aerospace expertise. Many Japanese citizens view the aircraft as a national achievement, particularly those who follow defense issues closely. Its active, electronically scanned array radar and composite wing technology are often cited as milestones in Japan's aerospace engineering. Because of this, proposals to retire the aircraft prematurely have not received strong support among the defense-literate public. However, Japanese public sentiment is also grounded in fiscal realism. With defense spending rising to address a more challenging regional environment, there is wariness about unnecessary expenditures. Maintaining and upgrading the F-2 rather than replacing it entirely aligns with this pragmatism. Upgrading avionics and integrating new missiles is more cost-effective than acquiring additional fifth-generation aircraft in the short term. This perception reinforces public support for keeping the F-2 fleet operational until the arrival of the Global Combat Air Program, whose high development cost is already a subject of discussion inside Japan. A more complex subject, and one that has triggered public debate, is the possibility of exporting used F-2 aircraft to partner nations. The Philippines, among others, has expressed interest in acquiring second-hand F-2s to modernize its own air force. While such a transfer could deepen Japan's security partnerships and generate economic benefits, many Japanese observers view the idea cautiously. Japan has never exported used fighter aircraft before, and reducing the Japan Air Self-Defense Force inventory at a time of increasing regional tension would be politically difficult. For these reasons, public opinion generally supports prioritizing Japan's own defense needs before considering international transfers. Looking toward the next decade, the F-2 is expected to remain in frontline service until at least 2035. During this period, further upgrades to its sensors, mission computer, electronic warfare capabilities, and data link functions are anticipated. Such improvements will ensure compatibility with the evolving Japan Air Self-Defense Force command and control network, which increasingly integrates space-based sensors, unmanned aerial vehicles, and advanced ground-based radar systems. The F-2's operational value will remain high as long as its weapons and sensors maintain their relevance. The ASM-3A gives the aircraft a new strategic purpose, and potential future variants of the missile could extend that relevance even further. Japan's overall air defense structure is evolving, but evolution, not replacement, is the theme that marks the F-2's path. Rather than viewing it as a platform approaching obsolescence, Japanese planners regard it as a stable bridge between generations. It fills the operational gap between today's F-35 fleet and the capabilities that the Global Combat Air Program will eventually deliver. In difficult years when advanced threats continue to develop rapidly, such transitional platforms become particularly important. The F-2 stands now as both a symbol of Japan's industrial competence and a practical instrument of maritime deterrence. In this sense, the F-2 embodies Japan's contemporary defense philosophy: steady, incremental modernization grounded in realism, technological prudence, and maritime security imperatives. It is not the most glamorous aircraft in Japan's inventory, but it is one of the most strategically coherent. Reimagined as a long-range anti-ship strike platform and supported by an informed public that understands its utility, the F-2 ensures that Japan retains the initiative in its maritime approaches. Its continued service reflects not nostalgia, but clear strategic logic, and its evolution over the next decade will continue to shape Japan's ability to defend its archipelago in an increasingly complex region.